Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Schmucker, your host, and someone who's been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB, which stands for American-Made Beauty, is designed to tell the stories and the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our program sponsor is Free Your Mane. You spell that M-A-N-E, and you can go to freeyourmane.com. Or you can find Free Your Mane products in anthropology stores and salons and spas across the U.S. As those of you who have been following our program know, my big break in the beauty industry came from a man that I've described as one of our modern-day geniuses, Horst Rechelbacher. Today we have the first of a two-part series where we'll get to meet the two women who are carrying on the legacy of this master and continuing to change the world one unadulterated, certified organic bottle of beauty products at a time. During our feature segment, you'll meet one of the co-owners of Intelligent Nutrients, Kiran Stordalen, who graduated college with a major in philosophy and a desire to live a life of purpose. She intersected with an emerging brand called Aveda that at the time was part salon, part school, and part product. When she joined Aveda and became the life partner of Horst Rechelbacher, none of us knew the trajectory that was to follow. Kiran and I actually met for the first time when we were both in our 20s, and today we'll pull back the curtain and tell you how history was made. Now, we normally follow our feature interview with 3 shorter segments. This story is so near and dear to my heart that I have no idea where this conversation will go, so I'm not going to make any guarantees. But loosely, we're planning the In the Jar segment to tell you why Intelligent Nutrients is a brand that goes way beyond the jar. During our segment we call Beauty That's Soul Deep, we'll define what unadulterated certified organic beauty means. And finally, we'll wrap up with our Beauty Biz segment by asking Kiran about her vision for the future. If we don't cover all of that today, don't worry, because next week we'll have Kiran's partner, Nicole Rechelbacher, with us to help complete the story. So let's get started by let me tell you just a little bit more about Kiran. She's the co-owner of Intelligent Nutrients, a certified organic health and beauty company. Kiran, along with Nicole, are the chief strategists in developing what I consider to be the highest quality luxury health and beauty brand that is also environmentally conscious, non-toxic, and nutritious. Using the latest scientific and plant technologies for hair, skin, and aroma, Kiran and Nicole are redefining beauty. That's a tall order, but let me tell you why I know this is possible. You see, Kiran has more than 20 years of marketing, creative, and product development experience as she served as Vice President of Marketing and Creative for the Aveda Corporation, where she was responsible for all categories of the business. Managing the many aspects of the corporate public face, Kiran has directed consumer and trade advertising campaigns, product packaging, in-store architecture and design that created a brand that was purchased by Estee Lauder in the late 90s for one of the most impressive values of brands to that point or since. As a philanthropist, she saw the 2015 opening of the Kiran Stordalen and Horst M. Rechelbacher Pediatric Pain Palliative Integrative Medicine Clinic at Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. She's also served on the Maxwell Music Center Board and is a trustee of the HMR Foundation, a private foundation dedicated to investing in sustainable environmental practices. Welcome, Kiran. I am delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you, Patty. I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much. What an introduction.
When you graduated from college with a major in philosophy, did you ever imagine you would be able to profoundly affect the philosophy of the way people take care of themselves and the planet through beauty products?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I had no idea. I mean, I think I was like many young college students who still are looking for something to do with their lives, and they've studied something and they're hoping to kind of take some of the ideals that they have come to want and apply them in the real world. And I was presented with that opportunity in the most unlikely way, and it was a real uncommon privilege, I must say.
And what was that unlikely way?
Well, I do think that we're not often given an opportunity to be able to express those ideals in a corporate setting or in commerce. And when I arrived at Aveda, it was a very, very small company. Horst was, although he was sort of midway through his career, he was at really the early part of developing Aveda and what it really meant. And through my partnership with him, I was able to sort of really help think about what corporate responsibility meant at that time. And so it was the beginning of this idea of how can companies make a difference? How can they have a philanthropic impact in their own organization? And so I think that that was very, I think it was unlikely for the time, and I felt like it was an unlikely opportunity for me as well. So I felt very fortunate at the time.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what Aveda looked like when you met Horst and began working alongside of him in the business.
You know, it was a really small company. It was divided at that time in more of 3 categories of business. He was firmly rooted in the salon business. He had, I believe at that time, 7 salons that he was dedicated to. And then there was also the school, which was that vertical integration piece. He really also strongly believed in education. And there was the product company that he had, but it was, again, it was small at the time. And so that was sort of the landscape of Aveda at the time. It was a small company, much like Intelligent Nutrients is now. It was as one of my friends puts it, we were a small band of misfits who were kind of really wanting to change the world. And Horst gave us an opportunity to express that piece of it. So we all recognized that there was an opportunity to make great products and to sort of like pick up the pieces wherever one needed to in a small company. As anyone would know, when you're in an entrepreneurial-driven company, you sort of do what it takes. And that was certainly the case at that time, certainly the case with Aveda. And so that's sort of what it felt like. It was like, let's just get the job done. Let's make it work. Let's make ends meet. But also let's sort of have a really good time doing it.
Right. Yeah, I remember being out in the field, and they used to call us jojoba witnesses.
Exactly, right.
And Chicken Little, because we were talking about the environment, and at that particular time, those were literally radical ideas that people had no concept about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were sort of unheard of ideas, and it was almost like it was very provocative to some people. It was sort of very odd to others. But it really was new, and it really was different, and I think they were potent ideas, and they certainly have stood the test of time. Yeah,
absolutely. So how important do you think that having the school and the salon was to developing the product company, or was it the other way around?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Horst knew how genius that idea truthfully was. Because it was really a vertical integration of a product line. You had the opportunity to work with students who were there to learn and be a part of the hair industry, but they also had an exposure to a product line simultaneously. And so they were, in effect, indoctrinated into a lifestyle, and what I would argue a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
And so I think that was pretty amazing. And then the salon piece of it, obviously, Horst was a hairdresser. He was a creative thinker. That was a creative outlet for him. And we're talking about the service business, people that can really reach out, touch people, have a conversation in a more meaningful way, whether it is about hair, health, beauty. So I think that all of those things they worked in tandem in a very beautiful way. And so I think that they were a powerful element in the growth of the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that the powerful element of the growth of the brand? Was there ever a moment that you and Horst looked at each other and knew that you were changing the world?
No. No. Absolutely not. You can look back on it now and reflect and wow, that was really incredible.
Right.
But I think you're just trying to do the right thing at the right time. And, ideas present themselves as they come along. And when you own the business, again, you have the privilege of being able to embrace new ideas. And I think that, that piece of environmental responsibility presented itself at that time, and it was undeniable. It was as if this is something in some small way that we need to embrace, and we need to embrace within the brand. So whether it's through the packaging or through the ingredients, we can make a choice here. And so those choices seemed like they were just the right thing to do.
Right.
And I think that continues to be the case. If you look back on it, you're like, wow, that was really an amazing time.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all of us.
So how did Intelligent Nutrients get started in the whole history? When was Intelligent Nutrients born?
Well, I think that it sort of began in the mid to late 90s, and that was definitely an effort on Horst's part. I mean, thinking, again, a little bit outside the beauty box, that health and wellness wasn't just about what you applied topically, but that you needed to sort of approach it from the inside as well. And so Intelligent Nutrients really began as a supplement business, as a sort of adjunct piece to Aveda. And I do think that, again, that was a little bit ahead of its time to really think about beauty holistically. And so that was really the beginning of Intelligent Nutrients. We didn't really want to bring it into the Aveda brand at that time, so he created sort of a separate business, Intelligent Nutrients. And it actually started off as a multi-level business. He wanted to explore other ways of, reaching people, reaching customers. And so that's really how it began. But like many things, it evolved into sort of just a separate business, and that's really the sort of early beginning of IM.
Right. Now, what year was it that Lauder purchased Aveda?
It was the end of 1997.
Okay, 1997. And at that point, why did they not why didn't you not include Intelligent Nutrients?
Horst wanted to keep it.
He did.
They had wanted to include Intelligent Nutrients in the original acquisition. However, Horst felt very strongly, and I think this was, again, sort of a strong sense of self, that, he was, an entrepreneur, tried and true, and he needed something. He needed a playground for him to continue to have an impact. And he was always still committed to the salon industry, but thought that perhaps there was another way to kind of engage with that space. So perhaps Intelligent Nutrients might be that company, but also just really thinking about science and technology, and in ways to sort of still be in the world of product development that wasn't exactly about hair and skin. And so that was really why we kept Intelligent Nutrients at the time.
And the essence of Intelligent Nutrients, as you mentioned, was this holistic approach to beauty. And it's just, we talked in our pre-interview about some disruptive ideas that you and Horst have been talking about for 30-plus years. One of them is this whole idea of holistic beauty. I remember going to a retreat at this spa there in Osceola, and as part of the retreat, we were all given the tools to do enemas. and when I tell people that story, it's like, you did what?
You're right.
But it was, and even with some of the early products, there was a blood detoxifier, and there was an intestinal cleanser. But the connection between our gut and our internal health and our external health, it's taken so long for those ideas to really meet critical mass. What do you say to entrepreneurs who believe so strongly and yet run up against such resistance to new ideas?
I mean, I think having, lived with an entrepreneur for a good part of my life, I have an enormous amount of respect for that entrepreneurial vision, and I think that the one thing that I always, when I come across those individuals in my own life now, I always, tell them to trust their instincts. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's something that they feel is really, really viable and really, really important, I think trusting your instincts is really important. So, I think that with any business, you're always going to run across obstacles or come across obstacles. That's inevitable, whether you're in a corporate setting or an entrepreneurial setting. And so it requires a ferocity that is essential.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to power through these things. It's just part of being an entrepreneur, and you have to stick with it, and that's precisely what Horst did. I mean, the colon cleansers and the sort of, that early, that was a little bit before my time, but I think that it's a testament to his vision that he really did believe in that holistic approach to health and wellness.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you see yourself as an entrepreneur? I know you're talking about those people, but you have just been as much a part of that entrepreneurial spirit over all these years.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think that it rubs off on you, and I think that I feel like I don't know if I have the same approach and tactics that Horst once did, but I think that I have other kinds of leadership qualities, and I think that I have certainly a vision for the business that I think is along the same lines, and I think that when you are that close to the flame, it's sort of like it is a privileged position because you get to bear witness to someone who is in full on action, and I had the ability to learn what to do and what not to do in a very, very close way. So I feel like I can embrace some of those principles and put them into action into my own life.
And when you think about that, what are some of the things that come to mind as like some of the really amazing lessons that have just been burnt indelibly into your brain that you're carrying forward?
Well, I think instinct is a key.
Mm-hmm.
Is really, really key. I think that this place, because of this place where corporate responsibility and environmental responsibility sort of intersect, for me, that is something that I learned very, very, very well, I would say. I mean, that you can actually make a difference. And I say that sort of, it seems so commonplace now to think that everyone wants to make a difference, but I do really believe that. And so I think that that's one of the greatest sort of lessons that I'm left with is that, as trite as it sounds, small things do really make a difference. You just really have to sort of keep at it, and you simply cannot underestimate the power of what a small group of people can really accomplish.
Right. And it was a dedication. I mean, in every choice that was made along the way, you were constantly asking those questions about the corporate responsibility, the environmental responsibility. Did along the way, was it easy to find those solutions?
No, No, it's not. It's a constant struggle. It's a constant battle. You're always you're reliant on raw material suppliers or packaging suppliers. You're asking them to do better. You're asking them to think outside the box. And so, there are inevitable compromises, but you still have to ask the question,
right.
And you have to start the conversation, because that will inevitably lead to something that, could be very useful.
Right. And when you were in a situation where you had the power of a big company like Aveda to be able to influence those suppliers, I'm sure that as you went along, it was probably easier. As you start over again with intelligent nutrients, do you find that people are as receptive? Those suppliers are willing to think outside the box for you?
Yeah, I think the marketplace has changed a little bit, and so I think that they are receptive. There is a willingness, but it is an ongoing conversation. It's an ongoing, not struggle, but it's a conversation that we keep pressing forward. Right.
All right, great. Well, this is fabulous, and I am thrilled to have you with us. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about intelligent nutrients beyond the jar. We'll hear how the Goop starts with an ethos of the company that's in alliance with the forces of nature. You're listening to Radio AMB. We'll be right back.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Schmucker, and we're here with Kiran, the co-owner of Intelligent Nutrients, a certified organic health and beauty company. Kiran, during the last 30 years, you've traveled the world sourcing for the finest quality ingredients for the beauty products that you've created. What are some of the most significant things that you've learned on that journey?
I think that one of the greatest things that I've learned is that we're all interconnected. I think that having visited farmers and suppliers whether they're in, North Africa or India or Nepal, developing countries, or whether they're in Southern Europe, I think that you come to realize that there are real people that are working with, real plant life, and that, we're connected through sort of the economic relationship that we have, but also just through just kind of like, wow, we're kind of making something together here that relies on a natural resource.
Right. And one of the unique parts of your journey has been that you have sourced these small suppliers. How has that been part of making your product beyond the jar? I mean, what makes that special?
Well, I think that our focus is really on certified organic, and so the field becomes narrower as you look for ingredients that are more pure. And so you are seeking out niche, I guess, farmers, smaller communities that are really focused on creating very, very high quality material. And so that's really the relationships that we've been interested in cultivating here. It's very small, it's very specific.
And what are the factors that you consider when you're looking for those kinds of raw materials and those kinds of niche farmers?
Well, we of course use the USDA certified organic label, and so the USDA certification is important. We use EcoCert. We use a few other third-party certifiers to verify the quality of the ingredients. A lot of the beauty business is unregulated, or most of it is, unknowingly for most people. And so we use experts and third-party certifiers to verify the purity and the quality of our ingredients. And so that's really where that becomes important for us. So. And
as we talked about in the earlier segment, it's taken a long time for the masses to begin to really understand and accept how important these things are. Help people to understand why utilizing certified organic matters when it comes to what we put on our body and in our body.
Well, we think it's just a cleaner product. I mean, I think that in general we think, first of all, there's the sort of land stewardship piece of it. There's the element that we are, what it does to topsoil and to runoff to the waterways. I mean, you're talking about very high levels use of synthetics and pesticides that have an impact on our planet. And so I think from just purely a soil erosion, water, air sort of conversation, it's very important. But the next level for us is that we really want to put the purest, most high-potency quality ingredients in our own products that people are putting on their body. I mean, I think that the organic conversation is really often directed at what we're putting in our mouths, what we're eating. But for us, it's also about what you're putting on your body.
Right.
And so the certified organic element is really critical as we do our own product development, because we're looking for things that are clean, safe, non-toxic. And that's really what we believe is really, really important in terms of a clean product.
Right. And isn't there also some significant body of science that has been produced that validates that there is, in fact, a difference with regards to the potency and the efficaciousness, the results that product or plants that are grown in a certain way, that they are, in fact, more potent in terms of what they're able to deliver when it comes to being manufactured in a product?
Yeah, there's been a lot of studies referring to that. I can't speak to whether or not the data is actually accurate, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that are looking at that very, very intensely, and they certainly do believe that pesticides and synthetic fertilizers impede the potency and the plant power. Mm-hmm. And so for us, we embrace that principle, and that's part of the reason why we use those ingredients.
Right. And what do you think what are some of the things that you're doing? One question I sort of wrote down when we were going to get together was, do you think consumers care? And I want to sort of preface that and say, I do think that it's grown, that there are much more people, a larger percentage of people that are caring. How's Intelligent Nutrients working to get more people to understand and more people to use the power of their dollar in saying that that's important?
Well, I mean, I think that's a fair question. I mean, I don't know if people really care. I mean, we care, and I think our approach has been that we're going to do the legwork for people. So really what we want to create is really an exceptional product first and foremost. We want to create something that feels beautiful, that makes you feel wonderful. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, we, just from our own sort of company corporate sense, we want to provide something that we can stand behind, that we feel really good about the choices that we've made about what we put inside the bottle. Mm-hmm. So if that's important to you, you will find that here. If it's not important, you're also going to know that you've just got a really great product. Mm-hmm. But I think that as people start, I think it is a growing number of people that are becoming increasingly interested in what they're putting on their body. So it is a growing movement, and I think that, you know, as you get into it, the more you know, the more you're going to want to know, and the more it's going to impact your own choices.
But I think you're spot on and very profound in the idea that, I mean, it is a growing number of people that are caring, but more what people care about is the experience and also the results. And I know you guys have put quite a bit into sort of the science. What are some of the things that you're doing on the science part that is helping you to get really efficacious product?
Well, I think that we've sort of gone beyond natural aromas, mm-hmm. And we've started to incorporate bioactives and marine algae and fruit enzymes and stem cells and things that we can find in the lab that really make a big contribution to the efficacy of our products.
Right. Okay, great. Well, we are going to take another break, and when we return, we'll learn about what unadulterated, certified organic means. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm your host, Patty Schmucker, and we're here with Kiran Stordalen, a co-owner of Intelligent Nutrients, a certified organic health and beauty company. This is the section that we call Beauty That's Soul Deep. And getting one's hands into the soil, I've learned, is one of the best ways to feel our human soul. Kiran, tell us a little bit about what unadulterated, certified organic actually means.
For us, it means just using the purest ingredients. I mean, it just really goes back to sourcing ingredients that are as pure as possible. We try and limit sort of the changes that we need to make to our ingredients, but we also know that it's important for efficacy. So we're just looking for clean, pure raw materials that are sourced in a very ethically responsible way.
Mm-hmm. And is there some type of way in which a consumer can, the labeling that you're doing, are you being able to distinguish your ingredients in such a way that a consumer can make a more informed choice about what they're buying?
Well, you know, since we use third-party certifiers and we use experts to verify the choices that we've made, for most consumers, that's probably the easiest way to delineate, you know, what's clean and what's not. You know, you can often, you know, people use the word organic very loosely, but unless you've had a third-party certifier, you know, there's a lot of leeway, I would say, in terms of, you know, whether or not it's organic. I think that also goes for the word natural, another overused word, which is essentially meaningless. You can have, you know, I mean, natural is also petrochemical. And so for us, these are, you know, choices, words that we tend not to use. We try and list all of our ingredients on the back of our package so that if you were a very savvy consumer and were very curious about exactly what's in those products, we sort of go through and explain what that is. I think we can do a better job of that, and I look forward to being able to do that. But for the moment, we try and be as very clear as possible about the ingredients that we're putting on our label, and certainly the certification process.
Right, right. Now, I know that, tell us a little bit about, right now, the product has, it's hair care, skin care, and aroma. Are those the categories of products?
Right.
And specifically with regards to aroma, let's talk a little bit about how are those products constructed different than what people will experience with most other brands?
Well, you know, for us, you know, our experience really lies in working with natural essential oils, pure flower and plant aromas, and you know, what most people find in the marketplace, in most, you know, classic fragrance and perfume, it's a synthetic aroma. It's a very exact replica of a natural fragrance, of a natural aroma or a natural essential oil. We use pure natural essential oils from plants and flowers, mostly from organically certified crops. And so, the sensation that someone experiences with our aromas without fail, in my experience, has been one that they have a very strong physiological, psychological reaction to something. There is a sensory sort of experience that is different than what you might find in a different kind of fragrance.
And it's not. I think the important thing, and I again, when we talked in our pre-interview, I've more recently had an opportunity to go back and experience the products that you're producing now, and it's been a few years in between that I hadn't had a product that was produced like that. And so my own personal experience was one in which, wow, this really feels on my skin different. And the reaction physically that I'm having is different. And it's not just in my mind. The whole idea of the hypothalamus and the olfactory bulb being connected to the brain, if our listeners will go back and listen to some of our past shows where we've talked about aromatherapy and talked about the fact that there is actually this physical connection that our bodies sense when it comes to ingesting a plant nutrient. And that's really what we're talking about, isn't it, Kiran? Right. It's like the difference between eating a synthetic orange as compared to one that comes straight off the tree.
Right. I mean, fake is never better than real, right? And I think that your experience that you had when you came in and had an opportunity to taste and feel and smell those aromas again is not dissimilar to what other people have. And to me, it's a surprise and not a surprise. I mean, I don't know how to describe that sensory experience. To me, it's inexplicable. Like, why? It just feels different. The molecular structure of a natural aroma is different, and I think that on a subconscious level, we experience that. And that's what we're drawn to. And if you remove yourself from that synthetic environment for, several months, I think that most people find that they don't really enjoy those aromas the same way anymore, and that there is sort of this more maybe symbiotic relation to something that's more closely aligned with our own biology.
And it's sort of an apathy that develops that it really doesn't matter. It all is the same. And that's why I said at the top of the show that this truly is what I consider to be the most luxurious brand of products that I'm experiencing on the market today, in addition to all of the plus things that we talked about as far as environmental and that kind of stuff. And it's not just a personal preference as it is. There's actually a science to it. It makes...
Yeah, I mean, thank you. No, there is a science to it, and I think that we have a twisted sense of what luxury is, and I think that that's one of the things that we're attempting to do here is that, real and pure and safe, that is luxury, right? I mean, doesn't it get any better? It doesn't really get any better than that. I mean, to have something that's so clean and so, real, I mean, that's that's luxury.
Right, exactly. And certainly when you've been used to utilizing, I think that's the greatest thing for intelligent nutrients, as people are able to experience that, and that was really in the early days of Aveda when that same type of ethos was in that brand. When people begin to experience, there's no distinguishing, or you're able to clearly distinguish the difference between this type of luxury. So, all right, we're going to take one last break, and when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about what lies ahead for intelligent nutrients. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
You're listening to RadioAMB, where we share the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Remember that our program sponsor is Freer Maine. I'm Patty Schmucker, and we're here with Kiran Stordalen, co-owner of Intelligent Nutrients, a certified organic health and beauty company. Kiran, my regular listeners know that we lost Horst 2 years ago, and you have been working for all these years by his side, and now with his daughter Nicole, to carry on this important work. What's your vision? Where do you see Intelligent Nutrients in the next 5, 10, maybe 100 years?
Well, I think for the moment, Nicole and I are just really at the very beginning of this process to a certain degree. I mean, we certainly have a lot of experience in this world, but I think taking on this company is, in our own way, is new to us. And so, you know, we've spent a considerable amount of time sort of just shoring ourselves up and shoring the business up and honoring our past, but also trying to determine what our future is and creating it. And so I think that, you know, certainly our commitment to, you know, making exceptional products is huge. But I think that for me personally, I think it's also really thinking about what those products represent and how to continue to make them relevant. You know, we have a mission, but that mission, in order for it to be relevant, needs to move with the times. And so that, I think, is something that we, at least I do, I think about a lot moving forward. And so that's kind of where we're at. And just sort of really also thinking about philanthropy in a bigger way, I think. That's really sort of, for me, the big end game, I think.
Right. And when you think about being relevant, what are some of the things that keep you up at night? What are some of the challenges in doing this brand today as compared to the experience that you've had in the past?
Well, the marketplace has changed dramatically. I think that when Aveda first began, we were a singular voice. I mean, the sort of eco conversation was a very small conversation that was happening in the beauty business, if at all. Today, there's a whole cacophony of brands out there that are talking along the same lines. And how do we delineate the greenwashers from the people who are trying to be authentic? I think on the one hand, that's a really, really positive thing, that people do care and they want to make the right choices. But I think now the more challenging part is, how do we make authentic and transparent truly meaningful?
Right. And are there specific things that's really keeping you up at night? It would seem that that's probably the biggest issue in terms of being able to break through the noise and differentiate.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that I think has always been part of your messaging, because you've really been crafting this messaging for a long time, has been to talk about what you are rather than what others are not.
Absolutely.
And so,
yeah, I think that's the positive message: is who are we and what are we trying to do?
Right. When you think about the environment as far as the where the product is offered, now where can someone buy Intelligent Nutrient today?
Well, right now we're in a small selection of salons throughout the country. We're in some boutiques. We're international. We have our own stores. We have one in Minneapolis. We have two in Minneapolis, our own corporately owned stores, and we're opening a third in New York now over the course of this summer.
Okay.
And so it is sort of a cross sort of section of a distribution model.
Right. And where in New York?
We're on Lower Fifth, right in the heart of the Village.
Okay.
It's a really great neighborhood location. We're really excited about opening it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a date yet?
Well, not a hard and fast date, but I think we're coming up on it pretty quickly. I mean, I think we hope to be open by the end of June. I shouldn't really say that, but I think that's pretty much the goal.
Great. Well, that's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And so, and where are you internationally?
We're in Hong Kong. We're in the Netherlands. We're in Britain. We're in Italy. We're in Germany. So we have a European presence, and we have an Asian presence as well. And it's exciting because there's been it's been an incredible response in those countries. It's really, really great. It's been great for us to be outside of the U.S. as well.
Yeah. And what about the digital world? How does that play into? Because I feel like we're in the Wild West in terms of how we're delivering the beauty experience, and particularly in a digital landscape. How does that play into it?
Well, I think for us, we have a brand that has a big message. And so the whole social media aspect of us gives us a platform to really express ourselves. And so this is the ideal way for us to communicate not only what our products are about, but what we're trying to do. And it's a great tool, as many companies have come to realize, one that can really make your business move forward. So it's great for us. We love it.
And when, as it relates to the beauty industry, how are you navigating those waters with regards to the old thinking that beauty brands should only be sold through salons and spas and through the professional and not direct to the consumer in a digital world?
Well, I think what we found is that, we're a company that has very small brand awareness at the moment. And what we found is that the more brand awareness, the more touch points that we have, the better off that salon actually is, because we're helping drive business into the salon through brand recognition. So if that customer has a few more access points to see and feel that product, the more likely they are to walk into that salon and recognize that product and want that product.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that we can never do, which the salons are so good at, is to provide that service, the customer service element. That's something that we honor and respect, and really can't do without. And so for us, I think it's about working together than working in sort of opposing forces. I think that there's a much stronger way to build all of our businesses together in that way.
Right. And as we see people, this huge process of a generation living older, how are you playing into the whole wellness environment? Is that an important strategy for you?
Yeah, I think wellness is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's the next great movement, is that people are really wanting to take care of themselves and embrace complementary, integrative, holistic thinking into their everyday life.
And that's the key: complementary, integrated, holistic beauty. I think that's a phenomenal force, and I love the idea that you are really once again in that leadership role. So thank you, Kiran. Thank you for all of the years of service you've already given the world, and I'm just so excited to see what you and Nicole have for us ahead.
Thank you, Patty. This has been really, really wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, same with you. So we're going to wrap up now, but don't miss us next week as we continue this conversation with the co-founder, co-owner of Intelligent Nutrients, Nicole Rechelbacher, and we'll learn how they're using the forces of nature to innovate the way people are taking care of themselves and living long and vibrant lives. Send your questions and your comments to requests at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. I'm Patty Schmucker. You can hear RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. Thank you for listening to RadioAMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.